Om Shri Sai Ram, offering our pranams to Sadguru Shri Madhusudan Sai, elders and guests, devotees watching us from around the world, students and staff, Sai Ram, and welcome to another beautiful morning of Satya Darpan. Yesterday, Sadguru explained that although physical attributes of name and form may seem as impediments on the spiritual path, they are actually useful in helping us connect easily to the divine. He quoted from the Viveka Chudamani, where Adi Shankara laments, "Weakness and attachment to one sense organ in animals and insects leads to their ruin and destruction. What then is the plight of man who is bound by all 5 sense organs?" The solution, as advised by Ashtavakra in the 14th shloka, is to cut asunder the noose of body consciousness with the sword of jnana or awareness that we are pure consciousness. Swami also urged us to follow Krishna's advice in the Gita, Yukta Ahara Vihara, that moderation in all aspects, eating, sleeping, or entertainment, is the key to happiness. We now request Dr. B. N. Narasimhamurthy ji to address all of us, please.
Most adorable Sadguru, brothers and sisters, very dear students, boys and girls. In the 14th and 15th shlokas, which Sadguru taught us yesterday, the punch line is the last line of the second shloka, that is the 15th shloka. Ayamevaha te bandhaha samadhim anutishtasi. What it means is, your bondage is, or the impediment that is coming in the way of your realizing Tvam Swaprakashaha Niranjanaha. You are that pure awareness, stainless, self-humanist awareness. What is coming in the way is, you are thinking that I have to do meditation to attain the state of samadhi. That itself is an impediment, he says. Here I would like to drive home this point by telling you what happened day before yesterday morning when I went out for a walk. Previous day, Sadguru had told a few of us that there are so many of our people who are not able to attend Ashtavakra Gita talks in the morning because they are so very busy with work preparing for the 100th birthday of Swami, especially of Baba, especially those who are working in the projects. Referring to one of them, Sadguru had told 2 of us, he was not there, that person was not there. Shiva and myself. That particular person, one person, is not able to attend Ashtavakra Gita lectures now, but he has told me, I am quoting Sadguru, he has told me that the previous Ashtavakra Gita lecture series have helped him. Day before yesterday, as I was going for a walk, these days not many people come for walk, around the stadium, outside Stadium Road I was going. And there was some person coming from the opposite side who was in black dress, black track pant and black t-shirt. Therefore, I thought he is somebody else. And when he came very close, I found out that it was the same person about whom Sadguru had told me, that that person had told Sadguru, Swami, last time your Ashtavakra Gita lectures have helped me. Suddenly I remembered and asked him. See, he was also stunned to see me there because he was in his own world. And he came near, I asked him, has Ashtavakra Gita series lectures last time that Sadguru gave has helped you? He looked very stunned and astonished. I thought he didn't understand the question, and again I repeated the question. Has Ashtavakra Gita lectures helped you? Then he said, My question to you, sir, is whom it has helped? You have to understand this. What he was saying was, what he was conveying was, the person who was helped by those series of lectures is no more there. That's what he was saying. I am already that. That person who was helped is not there. That's what he said. Therefore, the real bondage is our thinking that we are bound, like the donkey of the story. Whoever has not benefited by listening to Sadhguru's Ashtavakra Gita talks is like the donkey only. I am thinking I am tied. There is no rope, first of all. Therefore, you may ask the question, should we stop meditation? So that will help a lot of people who are lazy. Many people may say, see, that is what I told you, there is no use of meditation. Because you never tried to do any meditation. But real preparation is, you have to do meditation. Real preparation is, yesterday Sadhguru pointed out, preparing to surrender completely to the Guru is the only preparation required, nothing else. That is the only preparation. Meditation is required. Selfless seva is required so that you establish some self-control. You control your body and mind. You are able to surrender yourself completely to the Guru. And yesterday also Sadhguru pointed out, Guru is even above God because God is not seen. Guru is right in front of you. Surrender to the Guru is the one and the only preparation required for this highest spiritual wisdom to dawn. And nothing else is required. And he also said, many of us serve in the mission. Many of the institutions, ashram, we render different kinds of services, projects, educational institutions, healthcare institutions. Once Sathya Sai Baba said this, see, I am starting educational institutions, university, hospitals to set an ideal for the world in selfless service. That is fine. But there is a greater reason why I am doing this. Thousands of people have prayed me in their previous lifetimes, prayed to me, please take us towards liberation. Hold our hand and guide us to liberation. To shelter all those aspirants, I am starting these institutions. See, you may think that you have come for a job. The work is going to happen with you, without you, in spite of you. But what you have to realize is, you have come here for your redemption and not for helping Sathya Sai Baba or Sadhguru in the mission. See, if many of us are deluded that way, we need to give up that delusion. It's a delusion to think I am doing something very great in the mission. You have prayed in many lifetimes, God help me, I want to attain liberation. Help me to realize you. See, that is why every one of the people who are here in this hall and all those, who may be listening and even others who have some devotion to Sadhguru, all of them are here because they have prayed previously. Otherwise, this is not given to everybody. We may think, I applied, I got a job, I am working here. I applied for admission to the university, I am here. I applied for 6th class, I am here. Definitely no. See, this is the fundamental truth that each of us will have to realize. I am here for my redemption, not for anything else. See, that is what Baba meant when he said, I am starting these institutions. Okay, one side, we set some examples for the world. Through these services in these institutions, we are not going to solve all the problems of the world, but we set an ideal. This is the way. This is the way of selfless service, which can redeem the world. But more importantly, I wanted to shelter those devoted souls who prayed to me. Help me to realize you. So that is why we are here. See, that is the very important thing. That is what he also pointed out very elaborately. Whether you are a student or an employee or an honorary worker serving in some capacity, you have to very, very religiously follow all the routines and all the disciplines of the ashram and the institutions. How does it help? I am already that. We are not already that. We may say that. Are we really that? In order to realize that, the preparation is, if we follow all the disciplines, if we regularly follow everybody, every teacher or palaka or principal or director or warden, morning suprabhatam, if you start following, it will help you to develop self-control, some control over your body and mind, and that will help you further. Further, all this is going to help you to achieve some kind of balance among tamasic, rajasic, and sattvic qualities. A balance is required. All the three are required. See, without any one of them, we may say tamasic is bad, rajasic is bad. But if you have to live in this world, tamas also is required. Tamas is to go to bed and sleep off whenever, in the night. And rajasic is required for doing your work. And sattva is the spiritual quality. Balance is required. See, that is why Sadhguru has devised a routine for every one of us based on the day's time. See, the whole 24 hours is divided into three parts. 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. is rajasic time. Therefore, you have to work. And night, 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. is tamasic time. That is the time for sleep. The 4 hours in the morning, the 4 hours in the evening, that is the sattvic time which you have to utilize for your sadhana, spiritual practices. When we do that, we attain a balance and moderation comes into our life. We should not go to extremes. There should be moderation. That is why yesterday Sadhguru pointed out, yuktahara viharasya. In your food, in your recreation, in your activity, in your sleep, in your wakefulness, you have to practice moderation. Don't go to any extremes. Just because we are listening to Ashtavakra Gita, it is possible some people misunderstanding the teaching of the Ashtavakra can go to extremes. That is not correct. See, that is why in the 14th sloka, first line it says, Dehabhimana pashena chiram baddhosi putraka. He did not say Deha pashena. See, nothing wrong to have the body. We have come, this body is given to us like a boat to cross over the ocean of samsara. What is wrong is Deha Pasha. Dehabhimana Pasha. Deha Pasha is not wrong. Body is there. But Dehabhimana, attachment to the body is what we have to get rid of. Therefore, whatever teachings of Ashtavakra Gita, we need to understand in the right perspective. You need not have to run away from anywhere. Otherwise, Ashtavakra would not have chosen Janaka Maharaja of all people, who was a king who had to discharge his duties to everybody in the kingdom. He chose him, not a person, a recluse, not a Parivrajaka. He chose him because you can be a king in the world, but you can practice this. You can be a student in your institution, you can practice this. You can even be a teacher, you can practice. You are living in the ashram, you can practice. Nothing needs to be given up. What needs to be given up is only Dehabhimana, attachment to body. That is why all this preparation is required. We are so very fortunate that we listen to this highest wisdom from a person who has realized it. See, scholars, many, dime a dozen people are there. But those who have realized it, especially towards the end, what you said really melted my heart. He doesn't have freedom even to slip into a state of self-experience. Yesterday I said, evening, Yesterday he said that previous evening, after the evening cultural program, he went to his room and he thought because it was not that cold and it was slightly sultry also, he chose to go and sit in the balcony, looking at the thing down the hills and all the wonderful, there are really wonderful scenes all around from that hill. And he was feeling, say, look at this. He was feeling, what is this I am doing? Simply taking on my head responsibility of so many people, running so many institutions. I am the self. And he was slipping into that state. Imagine he stopped it. Because once you slip into that kind of state, a person like Sadhguru, how long he will be there in that state, nobody knows. So he will not be able to come for Ashtavakra Gita lectures. That's why he pulled himself back. He traded his freedom for the sake of granting freedom to others. See, that is a sacrifice on the part of a person who has realized God and who cannot get into that state, who correctly knows what that state is. See, this is what we need to very much understand and develop that kind of adoration, veneration, and devotion in our hearts. This applies to everyone, from student to anyone, everybody. We have to see, once we develop that, all this teaching will be very, very effective, impactful, and possibly at the end of the 100 days, we will all be self-realized. Thank you very much. I pray to Sadhguru for the nectarine flow of Ashtavakra Gita. Again, I conclude. Sai Ram.
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Sri Adi Shankaracharya in Bhajagovindam says that Guru Charanambuja Nirbhara Bhakta Samsarat Achirat Bhava Mukta Sendriya Manasa Niyama Devam Drakshasi Nija Hridayastham Devam. The one who depends totally on the Guru, totally surrendered to the Guru, Guru's feet, Guru Charanambuja, to the lotus feet of the Guru, Nirbhara, completely dependent on that. It means completely surrendered to Guru and his command. Such a devotee, such a disciple, samsarat, from the worldly noose or the bondage, achirat bhava mukta, gets redeemed without delay. Instantly, immediately, such a person is freed from the bondage of samsara. But the prerequisite to develop that surrender to Guru's feet, to be able to be redeemed or relieved from the samsara, is Sendriya Manasa Niyamadeyam. Your mind and indriya, senses, have to be under control. Niyama means within the discipline that the spiritual path demands. So unless your mind and your senses, that is body and the mind, is disciplined, this won't happen. But when it happens, what really happens? He says, Drakshasi Nija Hridayastham Devam. He sees the divinity within his own heart. So Guru is not going to bring God from somewhere and show you, nor take you somewhere and show God. This process of surrender after control of your mind and senses and complete surrender to the Guru makes you see God within yourself. That's all the Guru does. He does not do anything extra. So in that way, a guru's job is easy because he doesn't have to bring something from somewhere and give it to you because it's already there within you. He only allows you to be ready to unearth it, to find it for yourself. It's like the buried treasure in your backyard. You just don't know where it is buried. And so you are still a poor man. But if somebody knows where it is buried and helps you to unearth it, now you are a rich man. Were you not rich in the first place? You were. The treasure was always yours. It was buried in your backyard. But why you were poor, why you were behaving like a poor man? Because you did not know how to access that treasure. You did not know where to dig in the first place. And if somebody tells you that this is where you must dig, and these many feet if you dig, you will find that treasure buried within the earth, and you suddenly become rich. The truth is you are always rich, you just did not know where your wealth was. And therefore, a guru is like that guide who tells you where it is lying buried and how to get it. So he does not bring God from somewhere, like this man did not bring the treasure from somewhere. It was already there. But he allowed you, or he guided you, instructed you to dig there. And because you were surrendered to him, you dug there and you found the treasure. Likewise, Guru allows you to find that God within yourself. He does not bring the God or the divine experience from somewhere else. He just helps you experience the divinity within yourself. So that is the role of the Guru. But the effort that needs to be done, that has to be done by the disciple. Digging, now you don't tell the Guru, can you please dig that for me? That is not allowed. Many of them are like that. Nirbhara Bhakta, I am totally surrendered to you. It means you only dig the earth and you only get the treasure out and give it to me. Some are like that, over-demanding disciples. They don't want to put that much effort also. Now that is not going to happen. He'll at best tell you do this and leave it at that. He's not going to do that digging for you. Sometimes I do even the digging, that is my problem. I'm over-compassionate and over-protective and over-generous. And I've been accused for that. There are people in this hall who told me, you're too compassionate, hold yourself back sometimes. Otherwise people will just take you for granted because you just can't see anybody in a little pain or little difficulty and you make it so easy. Then I sit down and think, I should not do this because if I start doing everybody's homework just because they are struggling, then no, they will learn nothing. Sometimes I do it when they are really in a desperate situation, in dire straits. But those are exceptions. See, miracles, we have all got used to miracles, Especially all those who have been with Baba. He was known as man of miracles. Now, everybody thinks that miracles were happening every day, every minute there. No, not true. In the whole of Baba's life, you pull out, there will be few books on his special grace, Vishesh Anugraha, where he has granted things beyond one's deservedness. But that did not happen to all and sundry. They were very rare cases. But that has been generalized and now it is thought that it should happen that way only for everybody. Whoever walks in through the doors of the institutions or these temples, they should just get whatever they are demanded. It's not true. It's not true. Miracles or supernatural events or such special grace happens once in a while. Once in a while. Many people, if they're putting effort, for example, if the person starts digging, but he's not able to go forward, he's struggling, maybe Guru will lend a helping hand here and there. Or he'll call another disciple and tell, can you help him? So that he can dig the treasure out. But it does not mean that Guru will take over the spade and start digging for the person. No, that is not allowed on the spiritual path. You must make your efforts. Prayatno videyaha. You must make your efforts. And that is the effort that Guru is demanding. I will guide you where to put the efforts. If you don't know where to put the efforts, you'll be digging up the whole backyard with no use, which will be of no use. You'll be wasting your time and effort. So the Guru is able to correctly find out where it is and tell you this is what you must do. So what is the first thing you must do? You must have some control over your mind and senses. In the sense, you cannot be influenced by their demands. You must keep them in your control. You must know how to use it. Mind and senses are not bad. As he said, Deha, body is not bad. Some people unduly punish their bodies because they think body is the reason why I am going astray from the spiritual path. As I mentioned, they sit on fire, they lie on the thorns and they whip themselves and they cut off their organs. They do all kinds of things in the name of getting there, becoming spiritual. And they punish the body which is of which has made no mistake. It's like the driver went and dashed the car against the wall and you start beating the car. Rather beat the driver, I would say. Why cars should be unduly punished for anything that has happened? Of course, if there are faults in the car, the gears were not working, the brake was not working, then you should have repaired it in the first place, isn't it, before starting off on your journey? That's your mistake. Then rather you beat yourself up for not taking care of the car properly, not maintaining it. But why the car should be at fault? Likewise, punishing body by starving it, by not letting it sleep enough, by making it undergo all kinds of very harsh austerities, is not required, is what I was trying to tell again and again yesterday's thing. But yes, some control and some kind of like the car which is maintained and well maintained car, like that you must maintain your body well so it doesn't slip off into all kinds of things. But behind the body there is the mind which needs to be reined in. Is the mind and its vasanas, they say, samskaras and vasanas, instincts and habits of our previous lifetimes. Because in India we know we are all born again and again. And whenever we are born, we carry forward all the last life's vasanas, memories bundled up all in our minds. And then it just gets transferred. Like if a computer system crashes, you can transfer the software and all the data to another computer. So body crashes when you die, but the mind, like the software, remains. It has all the data and memory and everything. And then you simply transfer it to the next one. And that is how mind goes on moving from one body to another. And we are sum total of all that we have done in the past, all that we have, yatha karma, yatha shrutam, all that we have done, heard, experienced, and we remember from our past many lives. That is the bundle that we carry with us and whenever we are born. So he's saying this is the Deha Bhimana Pasha, all that attachment to the mind and its ideas, and which is forced through the body. All this is false and this is a bondage and you must go beyond that. So like that, in that vein, Adi Shankara Ashtavakra continues to explain further that you are actually nirvikalpo, you have no vikara whatever, and things similarly like that. You are a Shuddha, you are a Buddha, you are all aware, you are all pure, because the mind and body alone become impure. The Atman remains pure, like the electricity remains pure, it doesn't get colored just because it lights up a colored bulb. So also mind and body are the reason why we behave in a certain way, but Atman does not undergo any of these vikaras. So I will go further so that we can complete this chapter today. And on Monday, because that's also the Monday, Shiva Puja is there as part of our Shodasha Somavara Vatam. So on that day, I would just spend time to take some questions or something like that. We won't have much time to discuss. So today we'll try to close with the remaining shlokas. He continues, Ashtavakra, in the same vein of explaining the nature of the self. He continues in the shloka number 16, which is there on page number 242. And what does Ashtavakra say? Tvaya vyaptamidam vishvam tvayi protam yatharthataha shuddha buddha swarupastvam magamah shudra chittatam. It's a beautiful encouragement that Ashtavakra is giving to Janaka. We all think of ourselves as limited beings, useless, full of mistakes, frailties, faults. Shudra chittatam. Shudra chittatam is small-minded, limited-minded. He says, no, you are not that. Magama, don't give in to that thinking that you are some limited, lowly, petty being. Don't give it to that lowly ideas. What you are, the second line says, Shuddha Buddha Swarupastvam. You are pure, Shuddha. Means pure, you are untainted, you are sinless. Buddha, you are all aware. There is not a moment that you are not aware. You are the awareness itself. Swarupastvam, you are the embodiment, the very form of that awareness and purity. See, purity, awareness are things that do not have a form. But if they have a form, like they say, if love had a face, it would be of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, we used to say. Like that, if purity and awareness had a face and a form, you are that. You are that. You are none other than that. And so do not give in to this lowly thinking that you are anything lesser than that. And the first line says, Tvaya vyaptamidam vishwam. You are spread over the entire world. You are everywhere. You are universal. You are all pervasive. Tvayi protam yatharthataha. And on you is this whole world dependent. It's anchored in you. Protam means interwoven. So you alone are the reason why this world is. And this world is as if existing in you and because of you. You are the foundation, you are the substratum on which the whole universe exists. It's a very deep thought. You will think, why? Because of me the whole universe exists. I am not holding the stars and the moon and the planets and the galaxies in place. Then how is it that I am the reason why the universe exists and I am the one which exists in the universe everywhere without exception? He is not talking about your body and mind, because then you will become Shudra Chittatam, limited. The unlimitedness of the self, which is the nature of purity and awareness, that is all pervasive, and you are that. That is the idea that the sloka conveys. And because you identify now yourself with that all pervasive, immaculate, pure consciousness, you cannot think of yourself as a small, petty, limited body with limited mind. You are unlimited, you are infinite, you are eternal. Yesterday Swamiji had come, he was telling, right, Nirbhayananda Saraswati ji, what did he say? You can't decide to stay limited and experience the unlimitedness of eternity. This is contradictory. You can't be just yourself as the body and the mind which you want to thoroughly be enjoying, and yet understand the eternity and vastness and the all-pervasiveness of the self. Like the river cannot say, I want to be a river and yet I want to be the expanse of the ocean. Both are not possible, they are contradictory to each other. If you want to realize the ocean, then you have to become the ocean. You must stop becoming a river. But the river says, no, I do not want to lose my identity of the river, but I want to enjoy the expansiveness of the ocean. Then the Guru would say, not possible. It's not possible. You have to give up this to get that. You can't be on the earth and also in the sky at the same time. You have to leave the earth to fly in the sky. So this idea that I want to be this limited body and mind, because I'm so attached to it, and yet I somehow want to be redeemed and full of freedom and joy, Sukhi and Shantaha and Nirvikalpa and all that, this is not possible, Ashtavakra is saying. So rather, give up this limited idea that you are body and mind and engage or identify yourself with the idea of this universality that you are. Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita in a similar way, and he says, Mai sarvam idam protam sutraih manigana iva. Like the string of pearls. All the pearls are held together because of the string. String is not seen. Only the necklace of pearls is seen. But without the string, the necklace does not exist. The pearls cannot stay together. Like that, I am that string. Protam means on which is this necklace of pearls dependent. I am there in every pearl because I pass through every one of them. And because I am there, even though not seen, the necklace is intact. It's a string of pearls. Likewise, this consciousness is the reason why we experience everything. Now, somebody who is in a vegetative state, he is unaware of anything. Like in deep sleep, we are unaware of ourselves because the mind and body has been switched off. Consciousness has not disappeared. We might say, so when we go to deep sleep, we are not conscious, we are not aware of ourselves, our body, mind and things like that. Does it mean that consciousness has also disappeared? I would say no, consciousness was always there, like space is always there. Objects appear and disappear in the space. Its permanence is always there. The limitedness is when we engage it with body and mind. So this idea is quite subtle. When he says that all depends on you, is because only you are, therefore everything is. If you are not, in the sense if your awareness is not there, how do you know anything exists? It's a very subtle, I don't want to get into that absolute Vedantic discussion because that is even more deeper, but it simply says, things are because you are aware of it. If you are not aware of it, they don't exist. Schrodinger's cat experiment, I do not want to go there. The science of it is the probability of a cat being alive or dead inside a closed box. If you are aware that the cat is alive, then the cat is alive, he says. If you are aware that the cat is dead, then the cat is dead. If you are not aware the cat is dead or alive, then there is every possibility that cat is either dead or alive. Uncertainty principle. Because I am from science, so I know a little bit of science too. But the idea is that unless you are aware of something, it does not exist, our Vedanta says. Because you are aware, it has come into existence. If you are not aware, it will go out of existence, it says. You may say, no, that's not true. It is existing somewhere in some space, in some time, some dimension. You are not aware. Vedanta says it's as good as it's not existing because you are not aware of it. It's because you are, so everything is. If you are not, nothing is. That is a Vedantic principle. Now it's slightly complicated, and as I said, you have to study a little more deeper. But the idea is that if you are not aware of something, how does it matter to you? How does it affect you at all? And so, awareness is the reason why everything that we experience in this world, and that awareness is not my individual awareness, that's one awareness in all of us. Different awarenesses don't exist, like waves look different, but they are all part of the same ocean, which is nothing but water. So water exists in the waves, water exists in the ocean, and water exists as water also. Without the ocean and wave also, water exists. Water's existence is not dependent on the wave and the ocean. Wave and ocean are dependent on the water. Likewise, awareness is not dependent on body and mind. When body mind disappear also, awareness is still there. But body and mind depend on awareness for their existence. To be knowing that this is my body, to know that this is my mind, these are the thoughts going on, what makes us aware of it? That consciousness within us, that awareness within us. Like the waves and the sea depend on the water, likewise the body and mind depend on the awareness, consciousness. So he is saying, rather than identifying yourself with the wave or the ocean, identify yourself with the water and become free and all-pervasive. But we want to identify ourselves to the wave, or at best, ocean. But we are unable to identify ourselves with the water, that is the substratum, that is the foundation, that is the reason why the ocean or the wave exists in the first place. So he says, don't identify yourself with this limited body and mind and then keep on lamenting all your life. But my back is paining, my neck is paining, my head is aching, my this happening, that happening. Or my son doesn't listen to me, my wife does not listen to me, my friends are not good to me, my business partner is cheating me, my money is getting lost. In that only the whole life goes, because we are only identify ourselves with body and mind. So all the time we are fluctuating between sukha, dukkha. That graph goes on like this. Sometimes it's too high, sometimes it's too low, but it just goes on like this. It's never steady. But then there is this line, right, the axis, that doesn't change. The equation changes, the graph changes, but the axis doesn't change. But it is on that axis that this wave is dependent, this equation is dependent, this graph is dependent. Likewise, our body mind keep fluctuating with all the changing variables. Good day, bad day, losses, gains, profits, or losses, or whatever, happiness and sorrow, pleasures and pains, friends and enemies. The graph is going up and down. But the axis on which this graph is dependent, because it's from zero that you measure how much positive or how much negative, that axis remains the same. Identify yourself with the axis, he says, not with the graph. Identify yourself with the water, he says, not with the waves. Identify yourself with the conscious awareness, which is pure, unsullied, ever-present, vast, unlimited, rather than identifying yourself with the limitedness of body and mind, which makes you go through all kinds of emotions, both positive and negative. Both are not allowed in spirituality. Positive also is not allowed. Says you're getting too excited or you're getting too depressed. Both are not allowed. Both are deviation from your original state. Both are a deviation. Don't identify with your body mind. Don't be deviated. Rather than stay steady in that idea of pure consciousness, and you will never feel lowly. Krishna reprimands Arjuna in the battlefield. This Arjuna has suddenly identified himself with the Kritankin on the opposite side. That's also Krishna's teaching methodology. In somewhere I read an article from IIT Mumbai about design thinking. And they quoted the example of Bhagavad Gita. that Krishna's teaching was design thinking. He created the situations in such a way that the learning becomes correct, learning becomes intense and appropriate. What did he do? Arjuna tells Krishna, Senayor Ubhyo Madhye Ratham Sthapayame Achyuta. O Achyuta, O Arjuna, Krishna, please take my Ratha and make it stand or place it, station it between the two armies. Let me see who is there to fight me on the other side. So Krishna was a charioteer, he was a servant to Arjuna, he has to simply follow the command, he is a driver after all. So he just drove the chariot to the center of the battlefield and placed it right in front of Dronacharya, Bhishmacharya and all that. And Arjuna, who had come all prepared to fight the battle, today I'll finish them all, suddenly started shivering and shaking. Because he identified himself as the Shishya of Dronacharya, as the grandson of Bhishmacharya, who had looked after him, raised him, taught him, cared for him. Had the chariot been placed in front of Duryodhana and Dushasana, he would have identified themselves as his enemies and would have started the war. Bhagavad Gita would have never happened. But Sri Krishna, design thinker, went and placed the chariot in front of these two. And then Arjuna started getting confused, because now he's identifying himself not as a Kshatriya, Arjuna, not as somebody who is instrumental in establishing dharma, not even as the husband of Draupadi who was humiliated in the court of Kauravas, for which sake he came to fight the battle. Not himself as the Pandavas who have been denied their kingdom and made to suffer, for whose sake he must fight the battle. Not even as Arjuna himself, individual, as a Kshatriya who has a dharma. But he started identifying himself as the Shishya of Dronacharya or grandson of Bhishmacharya, and now he is confused because his identification has gone wrong. He should have identified himself with Pandavas and being Kshatriya and at best the enemy of Kauravas, or the one who is here to avenge the insult of Draupadi, things like that. But he didn't do any of it. He wrongly identified. That is Krishna's design. And then he says, oh, I cannot fight this battle. Turn the chariot, let us run away. I'll rather beg and eat. What good it would do with all the blood of my dearest ones on my hand. This battle will lead to destruction of families. Husbands will be lost. Varna Shankara will happen. Children will be born to wrong parents. That will lead to decline of dharma. Krishna says, stop, stop, stop. Where are you going? Shut up, he says actually. You know what he says? Klaibhyam agamasmah partah. Stop behaving like a coward. In fact, Klaibhya means not even coward. It's like you are neither man nor woman. You are that kind of, you are confused about who you are. Don't behave like one. Napunsakatvam. You are a Kshatriya, you are a warrior. Don't wrongly say things like that. He says, Klaibhyam masma gama partha na etat tvai upapadyate. This behavior does not suit you. This is not you. This is below your dignity to behave like this. And he says, with Shudram Hridaya Daurbalyam, this limited Shudra Bhava, this limitedness, this pettiness of your heart, Daurbalya, this weakness that has arisen out of this pettiness, give up. Tyaktotishta Parantapa. And reminds him, Parantapa, you are not Klaibhya, you are Parantapa, the one who is the scorcher of enemies. You are that. Great Kshatriya, get up and fight. Don't lament like this. This doesn't suit you. This limited thinking doesn't suit you. Same thing Ashtavakra is saying, Mahagama Shudra Chittatam. Don't be petty in your thinking. You are not this body and mind and it's all problems and issues in which you are so entangled that whole life goes on just looking after your bodies and minds and pleasing that and pleasing this. Get up, fight the battle, rise to the occasion, be what you truly are, identify yourselves correctly with the all-pervasive self. That is what you are. These losses and gains don't affect you. These pleasures and pains don't affect you. The existence and the disappearances of bodies and thoughts don't affect you. The good days and bad days don't affect you. You are beyond that. You are the awareness which is aware of good days and bad days, losses and gains, pleasures and pains, but it is unaffected by any of these. Rather, identifying yourself with the limitedness of the body and mind, identify yourself with the Atman, self, which is all pervasive. That is the advice. Because everything depends on your identification, whom you identify with. Like the lion's cub who was lost in the flock of sheep, he identifies himself with sheep. And now he cannot be confident, he cannot have the courage. And he suffers all his life, bleating like a sheep, being a lion. Yesterday we saw some nice lions in the visuals of Uganda. So majestic, royal, these African lions. You are that. Why do you identify wrongly and suffer like this? So the lion cub realizes finally that I am a lion and not a sheep, because he sees the big lion who comes and guides him and shows him his reflection in the water. And he realizes, oh, I am a lion after all. Why all this life I lived like a sheep? Wrong identification. I identified myself with the body. Was I not a lion before also? The cub was always a cub, right? Even when it was with sheep. It's just that he didn't identify himself as a lion and he suffered. Whereas the moment he realized that he is the lion, all his sorrow disappeared, fear disappeared, and confidence appeared. Our whole problem is wrong identification, and we think we are limited petty beings who have birth and death and all these things. But you are undying, you are eternal, you are deathless. Imagine that beauty of that thought. It makes you so courageous. Death does not scare you, then what can scare you on earth? Nothing can scare you. You are not frightened of anything. You are not afraid, because death itself is not bothering you anymore. Because you think death is a vesture, it comes and goes. I have been here forever. I don't die. This water does not die when the waves die. So also I do not die when the body dies. That itself is so much of courage. You can undertake any activity. Somebody was telling me, somebody had come, that they remembered one of the discourse that I had told, that I have no fear of failure, because I have no fear of outcomes. Outcomes will happen as long as the action is correct, outcome will also be correct. It's a natural law. I don't have to worry about that. So there is no fear. If there is no fear, who can stop you from doing what you have got to do? Nobody can stop you. That fearlessness is the gift of spiritual enlightenment, and that is what he is telling Janaka. Do identify yourself with this and not with the body and the mind, and be free, because your nature is that. There are a lot of explanations. You can read it for yourself, because I will move on to the next shloka. The shloka number 1.17, it says, Nirapeksho nirvikaro nirbharaha shitalashayaha agada buddhihi akshubdho bhava chinmatra vasanaha. Continues in the same thought, further reinforcing the idea that you are that self. It's on 258. Nirapekshaha, you are desireless. You are desireless, he says. No, but I have plenty of desires. I want to eat that, go there, live a good life, have friends, enjoy this, enjoy that. And I want to avoid sorrow, avoid misery, avoid losses, avoid pain. All these are my desires. He says, but this is none of you. This is in your mind or of the body, the vasanas of the body. But none of this is you, because just now I told you, don't identify yourself with body and mind. So the moment you don't identify, you become nirapeksha. You become desireless. You have no expectations whatsoever. You are free. See, once you have no desire, nobody can bind you. It's the desire that binds us. We remember avidya, kama, karma, wrong knowledge, wrong desire, wrong action. So this wrong idea that I am the body and mind makes us desire for things which are related to body and mind, and then make us perform actions for the sake of body and mind. So one leads to the other, and that's the noose, deha bhimana pashena. And the more you fulfill this desire, it's like another round of that noose around you. It tightens the grip on you. It's like you're entangling yourself, rolling yourself or whatever, you're winding yourself in that snare of bondage. So every desire fulfilled is one more round of that noose around you. It means you are getting further caught in the grip of that. Less desires, less luggage, more comfort, makes travel a pleasure, they say. So reduce the desire. He says, your true nature is you are desireless. Any desire, any vikara is only to the mind. Atma has no vikara, no modifications, no superimposition of ideas on it. It is pure, like the electricity is pure. It does not have any modifications just because it works with various gadgets. So nirapeksha, one nature of that person who has realized this, he has no desires, and because there are no desires, there is no anxiety, no bondage, no nothing, no negativity. Desire leads to everything. Nirapekshaha, you are desireless. Nirvikaro, so there is no modification because there are no desires only. See, desires will lead to how happiness or sorrow, isn't it? If desire gets fulfilled, there is happiness, that's a change from your original state, that you have become happy now. And then if desire is not fulfilled, you are unhappy. That's again a change from your original state of purity, because now you are on negative side of things. You are not the axis anymore. You are either in the positive quadrant or in the negative quadrant. That's all it is right now. But that is not you. You are changeless. You are changeless. Nirapeksha, nirvikaro. There is no modifications in you. All modifications are in the mind or the body. Nirbharaha, you are self-sufficient. You are complete unto yourself. Purnamadaha, Purnamidam that we learnt. You are full. A space is always full. Space, if you build 4 walls and make a room out of it, the space is not getting reduced. Yeah, the wall is known as now that group, that space is known by a different identity. That is the vikara. It is a Premamrutham hall today. Earlier it was a football ground or an open ground. That space was always the same, but the space that is seemingly captured within these 4 walls appears to be a new space. There is no new space. Space is the same. It appears to have changed, but these vikaras are in the mind. It is not that your self changes because your mind changes or your body changes. You are nirbhara, you are sufficient, self-sufficient. You don't need anybody else to complete you. This whole idea of, I need somebody to complete me, to complement me, supplement me, all that is not necessary. He says, you are happy, you are joyful, your nature is purnatvam. All the idea of this insufficiency, incompleteness is in the mind. It's not in yourself. Self is always sufficient. Because it is everywhere in everything, there is nothing that is bereft of it. So how can you add something to that which is already full, or remove something from that which is already full? That's what is Purnamadam Purnamad Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishishyate. From the complete, if you remove the complete also, complete remains. From the complete to the complete, if you add complete also, complete remains. Its nature is completion. You can't add space to space or remove space from space. Just because you built a house, you did not remove some space from the full space and then make a new space of a house. You just exist in that space, right? A new wave is not a separation of the water, appears to be. It's a water only, it's water. Water did not reduce or increase because a new wave came into existence or another wave disappeared from existence. So your nature is that. You are sufficient, you are full. You don't need anybody to fulfill you. You are complete. Shitalashayaha, and you are of cool demeanor. Your disposition is absolutely peaceful. In all religions, you see, there is a prayer for peace. Yesterday also the Ugandan artist was saying, thank you for promoting peace. But they are only thinking peace is, if so nobody is at war, then that is peace. Nobody is jumping on anybody else, then we are at peace. But the peace that this man talks about is different from that. He talks about a peace, a disposition, a demeanor, a character of peace that you are. In you there are no, as I said, vikaras, modifications. So it can never happen that original state that you are in, that is the state of peace that can never be disturbed. It appears to be disturbed, like a storm is there in the sea. Looks like sea is now all disturbed. Maybe sea is disturbed. Maybe the waves are disturbed. Now there are tsunamis, there are 30 feet, 40 feet waves are coming now. Looks like the sea is all disturbed, it's lost its peace. Otherwise we see, no, it's a calm sea. And then it's a stormy sea. Then we attribute the storm and the calm to the sea. But sea says, I am not a sea, I am the water. And I have no problem being 15 feet tall or just 1 foot tall. I can be a wave, I can be a tsunami as well, I have no problem. Both are okay with me. It appears that the sea is now angry. Sea is not calm. But sea says, I am water, and water can take any shape. So you put a water in a tube, it takes the form of the tube. Test tubes, you do experiment. Or in a capillary, it goes inside. You put it the same water in a bowl, it takes the shape of the bowl. It has no problem because it is nirapeksha. It is nirvikara. It is shitalashayaha. It is cool. It does not have any problem with anything. I was in US and there is a new term called chillax. They will tell, chillax bro. And I will say, what is that? He says, chill and relax together is chillax. So I told, oh, that is what Sheetalashaya is. You're always chillaxing. You don't worry about anything. Hakuna Matata. They're always happy. Storm or rain or sun or shine, calm, no problem. The water has no problem. Sea might have a problem, waves might have a problem, the boatman will have a problem. But the water has no problem. You are that water, that Sheetalashaya. You're always happy. Harallu, Daruhaku, Neerallu, Daruhaku, Hayagu Irve. I am okay with everything. I have no problem. That is the idea of Sheetalashaya. Absolutely okay. You put me in this department, I'm okay. You remove me and put me in another department, I'm okay. So I keep checking the Sheetalashaya of people. Once in a while I keep moving them between departments, and once they settle well, they don't want to move from there. They're happily settled there. And I told them, no, you have to move, you have to take up some other responsibility, and they're long face. Oh no, just now I started having a hold on whatever the work you gave me, and I'm able to boss over everybody here. Now you are going to shift me and make a subordinate out of me in some other department. How horrible. That's precisely the reason why I'm sending you to the other department, because you're bossing over too much. And you need a little bit of subordination, some humility somewhere. So all these actions, as he said, institutions are built not for just helping the poor or getting you an employment. It's built to build your spiritual character. So every action is only towards that end. If that is not happening, then I'm not interested in all the institutions. It's simply external activity without any internal development. It is not the complete goal of our institution. Yes, some help happens. Some good happens to the poor and the needy, but that does not help us. Because we don't grow spiritually. What's the point in joining this? As well work in any hospital, any school, anywhere, if it was just about doing a job. But if you want to grow further, that's why did I call all the staff and students for 100 days here? Who will do it? It's harakiri actually. If you really look at, if you have a function for 1 day, 2 days, you have to invite 20 relatives, that takes life out of you. Imagine for 100 days, I made sure all their previous semester subjects were completed, their holidays were shortened, and all the previous semester exams were completed before they landed here. So at these 3 months, they are free in mind. Yet there are some classes going on just to catch up with the next semester. But then again, next semester will be a short semester. They'll have to study between December and April and finish all the things. But I'm hoping that Ashtavakra would help you to develop that focus and concentration. You can study faster. Time is concentration. So this piece that you develop from here, that will help you develop concentration. So the idea of bringing everybody, which institution will bring the staff and say, don't worry, you don't have to work for the next 3 months. We will feed you nicely. You stay comfortably. Just listen to Ashtavakra discourses and try to practice. Because my problem is in our institution, unless the spiritual quotient goes up, the entire institution is underperforming. Examination-wise, they may perform well. Academically, they'll perform well. But spiritually, they're not performing well. And the teachers are responsible for the spiritual development of the students. I can only speak to them once in a while like this from a platform. I cannot be with them in their hostels, in their rooms and talking to them every day, counseling, guiding them. Who has to do that? Teachers have to do that. But teachers are not trained in spirituality. Most of them have, at least 75% have joined us from outside. Outside in the sense they were not homegrown. Now that leads to a lot of spiritual crises in the campuses and in the institutions because they don't understand the real purpose. They're nice people, good people doing their job, but that is not enough. Beyond that, they have to also spiritually counsel the students and parents and help them also grow. But what will you counsel them if you don't know? If you want to be a physics teacher, you should know physics in the first place. Likewise, a teacher or a student or a staff in our institution must have spirituality. If that is not there, they are actually doing disservice because whatever I'm trying to build, it's getting leaked from the other side. That is why I called everybody and said, please sit and listen, whether you like it or not. Even if little, swalpampyasya, dharmasya, little bit also goes inside you, it will definitely add value to the overall spiritual development of yourself as well as of the institution. So you are like that, he's saying that you are nirapeksha, you have no expectation. Then you will tell, you have expectation, Swami, we should be like this, we should be like that. That expectation is not selfish expectation. That is a good thought. In fact, as I said, if I slip into the state of self, then there is no thoughts. Then it doesn't matter who is writing what email to me and who is asking me for what next instruction. I will stop responding. If I do that, then what will happen to all of you? There will be chaos. Everybody is not self-disciplined still, right? You are still learning. I have learned, so what? That does not help the institution. My being learned is not enough. Everybody has to be jnani, then only it helps. So for that sake, we have to do whatever we have to do, the rules and disciplines and things like that. So, but if everybody also attains that state of self, then what a beautiful institution that it would become, and that would become perfect. There is no need of further struggle to improve anything. You are already reached that state. So this is what he says. You are nirbhara shitalasya. You are of cool demeanor, because you can take any situation with equanimity. You don't get disturbed. Like water is not disturbed wherever it is poured into. Agadha buddhihi. You are of infinite awareness. Agadha. Agadha means that which cannot be fathomed. Its depth cannot be measured. It means its height also cannot be measured, its width cannot be measured, its dimensions cannot be measured. That is agadha. Agadha buddhi, your awareness is infinite. You are super intelligent. All intelligence of the world is in you, because you are the awareness. By being aware of that, you will become all these nirapaksha, nirvikara, nirbhara and things like that. Agadha buddhi, akshubdo. Akshubdha means unagitated. Your shitalashaya, cool, same way ashubdaha. It means you are never agitated by whatever happens. On the surface there are waves, but deep under ocean is peaceful. On the external there are activities, but deep inside yourself. Once you are established in that identity, these little movements around you do not affect you too much. You become ashubdaha. Bhavachinmatra vasana. Become like that, because your original nature, vasana means original instinct, original real nature is chit, awareness. Awareness is your only matra. That alone is your true nature. Everything else that you think is your nature is not true. That ability to be aware of everything is your true self. Everything else is just superimposition on it. It's not true. And when you identify yourself with that, you become like this. You become desireless. You become desireless. You become unmodified. You can never be deviating from your original self. You are full, you are complete, you are joyful. You don't need anybody else to add any value to you, to make you happier than what you already are. Shitalashaya, you are absolutely of a peaceful demeanor. Nothing affects you, nothing agitates you. Agadha buddhihi, you are reveling in that infinite identification with the awareness that permeates everything. You are not limited anymore. And you are not agitated by whatever happens. Whatever happens, happens as part of the process. But you don't get involved and sucked into it and then suffer. And chinmatra vasanaha, your only original nature is that self which is of this nature. That's your original nature. Everything else is a modification of that. So do not give in to the modifications. Stick to your original nature is what he's telling Janaka Maharaja. Because Janaka Maharaja has a lot on his plate. He's a king. So he has to go through motions of the daily life, ups and downs, good and bad. In between all these things also remain like this is the advice that Ashtavakra is giving. Today we all talk about, as I said, in science also we talk about this unified field theory. I often mention that, and now slowly that is gaining more and more acceptance. It was proposed by Einstein, but then after that much more experiments are happening, and now we are talking about consciousness, that everything is conscious. String theory is there, that everything is somehow connected. And they imagine it is like a string which is entangled with everything. Or recently the 2022 Nobel Prize was given for the entangled photon theory. Two photons, a pair of photons, they spin in opposite directions. But if you separate them with the distance of the universe also, you will still find out what their spins are. Because though they are separated and made it to go so far, if you know the spin of one, you can easily guess the spin of the other will be the opposite of it. They don't lose the communication. They don't lose the connection. They don't lose the original relation. How is it possible? If two people are separated, let's say you and me, and we don't know what you are doing, I don't know what I am doing, what you don't know what I am doing. We will not know unless we meet and find out from each other or talk to each other. Then how are these photons talking to each other is the question. This experiment was done over 100 years by 3 different scientists and their teams. And finally the Nobel Prize was given that yes, it is true, that there is some connection between the two photons which are separated, even if theoretically by the distance of the universe. They do it in a controlled environment, in a tube. But then that is what it is, that they are connected still, they know each other. They have not forgotten, they have not got disconnected. And that theory, butterfly flapping its wing and causing an earthquake somewhere. That idea of string theory is now gaining more and more traction. Actually, quantum mechanics is all about that. The next big thing, as we all know, is the quantum field and quantum mechanics. And that is actually based on this principle, this quantum field, that everything is connected and everything knows everything else. Everything's nature is known to everything else. So how is it possible? Is there a wire that takes the information? How the data gets transferred? How this information is passed on, even through the distance of the universe? Because there is something underlying which is connecting everything. And that connection is consciousness, which is our rishis said, Prajnanam Brahma. Brahma means vast, infinite. And Prajnana means consciousness, knowledge, awareness. It is Brahma. Consciousness is Brahma, it is aware, it is infinite, it is vast. And that slowly is getting into the scientific field. Of course, they will never acknowledge it as a divine principle. They will still call it science or nature. But you are getting closer to what scientists were saying, that the nature of divinity is that, it is aware. And that awareness is now the unified fear, is your agada buddhi, your infinite awareness, infinite intelligence. Everything is in you. And ashubdaha, a nice story is there just for the children, because if I go on going philosophy, they'll sleep off. Ashubdha, you are unagitated by whatever happens. There is a story which Bhagavan used to tell about a prince by name Mohajit. Now this Mohajit was somebody who was very interested in spirituality, so he went to the forest to meet a sage and ask him for Brahma Jnana, that give me the idea of, or whatever, experience of Brahman. The king says, your name is Mohajit. Do you even know the meaning of Mohajit? He says, yes, I know. Mohajit means the one who has conquered all attachments and all delusions. He says, do you really are like that? You have simply put a name Mohajit. But are you like that? He said, of course I am like that. I have conquered my attachments and delusions. Not only me, the whole, my parents, my wife, my kingdom, everybody has conquered their moha or attachment. And then the rishi was surprised. He said, that's not possible. I don't know anybody like that. And he says, I want to test this. He says, by all means, go ahead. So he takes the robe of the prince and soaks it in some blood, animal blood in the forest, and takes it to the kingdom, shouting on the top of his voice, oh, the prince has been killed, the prince has been killed in the forest. So there is a maid servant who is sweeping the floor as he enters, and the maid servant says, okay, what do you want? He says that the prince has been killed, I must report it to the king immediately. She says, all right, but no, in this world people come, people go, somebody dies somewhere every day. Today prince has died, so be it. Let me finish my chores and then I will take you to the king. The rishi is shocked. Maid servant is talking like this. Then after she finishes her cleaning, she takes him to the king and and then the king is told that your son has been killed. He says, oh really? The world is like a night shelter. People come, people stay, and then people go. Can anybody stop them from going after the dawn? My son came, stayed in our family, under our care. Now his time is over, he has moved on. Anyway, soul does not die, it's the body alone which dies. So be it. This rishi is shocked. He says, even the king thinks like that. So he goes to the queen, mother, and says, this is what happened, your son has been killed. She says, what is there after all? Like, the birds in a nest. We stay and when we leave, there is nothing to grieve about. Birds build nest, the little ones are born, then they eventually fly out of the nest. And that is the relationship. So he is also flown out. What is there in that? The rishi is further shocked. Then he says, at least his wife will lament. She will be in grief when she knows her husband has passed away. So he goes to the wife, and wife says, what is husband and wife after all? Two logs of wood floating in the river. Sometimes they come close, sometimes they move apart. That is what has happened. We were close, now we have moved apart. Why you have to lament and grieve about it? Then this man, Rishi, understands this is the idea of these people. They only conquered all moha. They are not agitated by anything that happens. They are so free of any attachment. And they have taken death of their own king or prince or husband or son so very positively, in the sense, so very equanimously. They say, oh, death happened. Yes, death happens. That happens to you. What's the big deal about it? Today it's prince, tomorrow it will be somebody else. So he gets very shocked and he says, now let me go and check that prince himself. So he runs back to the forest and tells the prince, oh, while I entered the kingdom, I realized there was utter chaos. An enemy king has attacked the kingdom and has killed your father, mother, wife, children. He says, so be it. So many kings are born, so many kings die, so many kingdoms are conquered, so many are defeated. You teach me Brahma Jnana, don't waste my time in all these matters. That is the readiness, that is the surrender that one needs to attain Brahma Jnana. Then this Rishi says, you don't need Brahma Jnana, you are all these things that the shloka is telling just now, no? Nirapeksha, Nirvikara, Ashubdaha, Shitalashayaha. You are every of these things. You are already a Brahma Jnani. I don't need to teach you anything. This itself is Brahma Jnana, what you know. So that is the idea of these Brahma Jnanis. They are unperturbed by whatever happens. On the surface, there may be some activity. But deep down, like the sea, they are absolutely calm. And they do not get agitated by all that happens on the surface. I'll go to the third shloka. It is on page number 271. 1.18. It says, Sakaram anrutam vidhi nirakaram tu nishchalam etah tattvopadeshena na punarbhava sambhavaha. Etat tattvopadeshena na punarbhava sambhavaha. It says, this sakara, that you are a form, it is anrutam, it is untruth. The idea that you are a wave is untruth, because you have just got a form recently. Vidhi, no, nirakaram to nishchalam, that you are formless and nischala, changeless. Forms are changing. When we are born, we are a baby, then we are a boy, then we are a man, then we are an old man, then we are a dead man. We keep changing forms. But your nature is not that, because you are beyond the forms. You are formless, nischala, means unchanging. Changeless is your true nature. Then, etat tattvopadeshena, this tattva, this truth, upadesha, learning from me or learning from the scriptures. What do? Na punarbhava sambhavaha. You will not have another birth. You will not be born again, because you will not be bound by your karmas, which are bound to your body and the mind. But once you realize you are none of these, na kartasi na bhoktasi, you will neither the doer nor the enjoyer of things, no karma will bind you. So this is your true nature, na punarbhava sambhavaha. You will not be born again, he says. This punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, that goes on in our lives, right? Punarapi janani jatare shayanam. You are born again in another mother's womb. Iha samsare bahudustare kripaya pare pahi murare. This samsara is very difficult to navigate, because we are born again and again in somebody's womb, in somebody's families. And it is never done, because our desires are never done. So please, O kripaya pare, please take us across this ocean of samsara, O murare, O Krishna. Take us across. That is what the prayer is. Because it's so difficult to get rid of this birth and death. We are going on being born and being dying and born and dying. And this is going on for so many lifetimes. We think this is the first time we have come on this earth. It's not true. Once Kanchi Paramacharya was asked, somebody said, how is this reincarnation true? How do you know that reincarnation is true? Then Kanchi Paramacharya called a journalist and told, just go around this whole of Kanchi and find out how many newborns, new babies were born last night. So, and then come and tell me in what circumstances they were born, which families they were born in, and what kind of physical state they are in. So the journalist goes around checking and comes back and says, these many babies were born. Some were born to poor parents, some were born to rich, some were born with some physical ailments, some were born healthy, and so on and so forth. So Paramacharya asks him, okay, you say that there is no rebirth, there is no reincarnation. Then why are these babies born differently? Why is somebody born in a poor man's family? Why somebody is born in a rich man's family? Why somebody is healthy? Why somebody is unhealthy? What is the reason for all this? If God is equal to all, God is kind to all, God is impartial to all, then why these babies are born differently? A journalist has no answer. He can call it law of nature or whatever, but then in a poor or a rich family, how do you control that? Then he says it is because they have done some deeds in the past that has brought them into this family. As Adi Shankara also says, so also Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that we are born into the next birth based on our last thoughts of the previous birth, last desires. So also Kathopanishad says that Yonim manye prapadyante sharirattvaya dehinah sthanu manye anusanyati yatha karma yatha shrutam. Based on all the actions of the past, you take up another yoni, a man, woman, or even animal yonis. Like Jataka tales are there of Buddha, where he goes back several lifetimes and realizes he was born as a cow and a crow and a lion and so on and so forth. So like that we are born again and again. And there is no guarantee that you will only go up from human to another better life. No, you can even slip back into lower births of animals as well. In our scriptures, there is called 84 lakhs species are there, yonis are there. And this was told long time ago. But we can fall into any. That is why Adi Shankara said, Manushyanam, Jantunam, Narajarma Durlabham, he says. In all the beings, human birth is rare. Don't misuse it, don't abuse it, don't underuse it, don't waste it. He says that you are born again and again, but how to get rid of this again and again being born? This is the idea. Tattvopadesha, by learning from this teaching that you are the self, you are not sakara, the form, but nirakara nishchalam, formless awareness is your true nature. If you believe in it, if you become that, then there is no birth for you. Why? See, our reincarnation principle is dependent on karma principle. So karma and punarjanma, these are the two fundamental basic principles of Sanatana Dharma, which are there in many other similar religions like Buddhism, Jainism, and that day I was surprised that even Druze, people who came from Israel, they also believe in reincarnation, though they are offshoot of Islamic traditions. But Islamic traditions don't believe in reincarnation, but Druze believe in reincarnation. So anyways, wherever they got that idea from their master. But our scriptures believe in karma, because if you want to born again in a certain place, what decides it? Your karmas decide. What karma? What you have performed in the previous life. Yatha karma, yatha shrutam. Whatever you have learnt and whatever you have done, that is what will take you to the next life. So the idea of punarjanma and karma, these are the two siddhantas, principles of our Sanatana Dharma scriptures, and they are very scientific. If you analyze a little bit, though you cannot really, but there are many people, like when I was in the college, somebody introduced me to a book called Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian Weiss. He's a US-based psychotherapist, a healer, a regression therapist, and so on. And I just happened to chance upon that book in the library because somebody had mentioned. I looked and I started reading, and he did a lot of experiments on people by taking them into hypnotizing them, and through regression therapy, he made them remember their previous lives. And because of that, they were able to solve a lot of the unsolved issues or unresolved issues in their minds. Because some people had fear for water, or some people had fear of heights, or things like that. They couldn't explain why they had. But when they went back into their previous lives through regression, they found out that they had some accident or something must have happened in that way. And because of which, they are behaving in a certain way. And this is something that is now scientifically documented. There's a whole institute over there, and a lot of courses and things like that. Not that you need to go and start digging your past all the time. That is again going back away from your original nature. Living in the past, living in the future, going to astrologers and therapists, regression therapists, both are not required. Live in the present. That is the most important. Yes, for some reason you became like this. Now what can you do about it? Work on it. Work on it and improve from here, listening to the Tattvopadesha. Don't waste your time in digging the postmortem, things like that. Sometimes it may be useful, sometimes it can take you to other memories which are even worse. Then you will become even more Shudra Chittatam. That I thought I was only this bad in this lifetime, I was worse earlier. That will set you into a new bout of depression. So no point in doing too much of these things. Idle curiosity is no good. That is why, yes, life and death happen, and Punarjanma happens because of your previous life. That happens. So our Kunti is there. So sorry, before I go to the Kunti thing, 3 types of actions are there. That's for theory part of it. Sanchita karma, Prarabdha, and Agami karma we know. Sanchita karma are those which we have done in the past. They are yet to come into fruition now. We are yet to suffer or enjoy those in this lifetime. Prarabdha are those which we are already enjoying or suffering now because they are fructifying today. And Agami karma is that which we are going to undertake now, and that will further in the future lead to the results of those. So 3, like a man with a bow and an arrow, it is mentioned. The arrows which are there in the quiver, they are like Sanchita karmas, which are already there, but they have not been actioned still. It means they troubled somebody in your past, that person is yet to come and trouble you. But that there in the store, it will come one day. Likewise, there is an arrow on the bow which is about to be shot. That is Agami karma, that you are going to do now, and that will have an effect later, like you'll hit the target after some time. But one arrow has already been shot. That's already gone. And now it's going to have its effect. That you cannot stop. Only two karmas you can have control on. The ones which are in the quiver, that is your sanchita, or the one which is on the bow, which is your agami. That which has been left out, from the bow it has been shot out, that karma is already in motion. You can't change the course of that. Of course, Krishna can change anything. When Ashwatthama sent Brahmastra to kill Parikshita in Uttara's womb, Krishna went there inside the womb and stopped the arrow and changed the karma of Parikshita, saved him. So God can do anything, but then as I said, miracles are rare things. Don't expect everybody will get this miraculous destruction of their karmas. Don't be over expectant. Because you are supposed to be nirapeksha. Don't ask for things. So don't ask for even such things. You rather put your efforts as being told. Now what happens when you realize yourself? Which karma, see, if you do not have to have a new birth, then it means all the karmas you should have suffered, finished, nothing should be left, because any balance is left, it will be carried forward into the next birth. So all balance should be zero. Account should perfectly tally. How does it happen? Your previous karmas of the previous lifetime are there. What should we do with them? Then Krishna says, I will destroy them all. They will become ineffective. Like Ramakrishna says, your karmas are like seeds. If I roast them, they lose the potency. Nothing grows out of it. So that way it will get, in a way, destroyed. The good 1/3 is gone. Actually, a lot of accumulated things are gone if you realize that self. Then what else happens? What is already in motion, that cannot be changed, you will suffer through it unless Krishna intervenes or Lord intervenes. Then what you are about to shoot, you will not shoot it wrongly. You will stop. Because doership will go away. So even if action happens through you, you are not the doer. So the results also are not accruing to you. So you are free from that. So this way, kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare, says Mundaka-upanishad. The one who has realized the self, his karmas are destroyed because he has realized the self. The future karmas don't accrue because he is not the doer. The past karmas also do not have effect on him because he is no more identifying with the body. And sometimes by Lord's grace also the karmas are destroyed. It's like a bonus marks you get because you put a lot of good efforts. Teacher gives you some grace marks. So sometimes that grace can destroy the karma. But sometimes whatever limited is there, we suffer. Like Ramakrishna went through cancer, or Nisargadatta Maharaj went through cancer, or whatever great masters have gone through. Every master has gone through some trouble. Jesus was crucified, Buddha was poisoned, somebody died of cancer. The endless story. So you think a spiritual life means there won't be any more problem, no karmas, nothing. No punarjanma. No punarjanma means all your karmas should settle now. So many people tell me, it's little echoing. It's echoing my voice. So many people tell me that why is that good people suffer? A lot of people have this problem. When we were bad, others suffered, we didn't suffer. When we are trying to be good, so much suffering. All problems to us only. All diseases are coming to us, losses are coming to us. Our friends are turning into enemies, business losses. Everything is going against us. Before we met you, we were happier. Now we met you, we have all the misery in the world. They ask like that. Then I tell them, before you met me, you were never interested in your Brahmagyana. You were never interested in moksha. You are interested in entangling yourself further in the noose of that samsara. But now that you have met me, I have to cut all these things away. But you have done your karmas, which you have to go through. Now, if you want moksha, then all karmas should settle. All the accounts should come to a zero balance. And with that has to happen, everything has to be exhausted and consumed. Yes, few of them I will destroy it by my grace. But few at least you have to undergo through. You have to go through it. So go through it. Go through it so that it is done once for all. Many people told me, in fact, there was a devotee who was suffering in the hospital very badly. She kept on saying, Swami, all life I have served you, I did this seva for you, my father did this seva to you. In your Purva Avtara, Sathya Sai Avtara, you came home. I said, yes, that is the reason why you are going through all this. What do you mean? I said, because you asked for moksha, you asked for no next birth to Swami, and now I am ensuring that. But now what you are regretting asking that. But I have already given my word, my arrow has already been shot. That yes, tathastu, let your moksha happen. Now you have to go through everything. I can make it a little painless for you. I will try to help you go through it, that's all. But I can't remove it, I cannot destroy it fully. I have already reduced it. That you have to undergo. Anyway, she underwent, she passed away. No miracles happened, that cancer got cured and things like that, because she had to go through what she had to go through and be free from the bondage of samsara. So many times a Guru's grace is not always a very favorable, pleasant experience. A Guru's grace can come like this also. who destroys all your karma. The idea is you should not question anything. You should have the surrender bhava, the Sharanagata bhava. You know Guru is doing the best for us. And that feeling, if you're there, then you will go through whatever you need to go through. Because you don't know, in another birth you will get a Guru or God like this to even be around, help you, give you the support that you need to go through your karmas. So better we finish as many karmas as possible now and do not create more karmas. Because again in another birth you will get a Guru or not, you never know. Kunti used to pray. In Bhagavatam it comes. I've written down here. Vipadah santu taha shashvat tatra tatra jagat gurau bhavato darshanam yat syat aparnar bhava darshanam. It is Kunti's prayer in Bhagavatam. It's not here. But she says, Krishna, give me more troubles, give me more problems, give me more issues. And Krishna must be surprised saying, why? You already suffered all your life ever since you were a princess to now the great grand queen. You have never enjoyed one day of peace and happiness. Why do you want more troubles? She says, because whenever there are troubles, what happens? You come, you save me. You appear and you help me. And I think of you deeply when we are in trouble. Bhavato darshanam yatsyat. So having your darshanam, I do not have to have darshanam of another lifetime. I do not have to be seeing another life. Because my life, all my karmas will end by your company, by your constant grace, by your constant guidance. So that is the idea of apunar bhava darshanam. I do not want to have another life. Finish everything now. Give me as many troubles as you can so that I finish my karma. Second, only during troubled times I really, really remember you. My intensity of prayer is very high. We all know that. Sankatavaste, Venkataramana. Otherwise, nobody remembers. Problem comes, we all run to God. Problems are not there, nobody remembers God. At least not with the intensity. That's why Kabir Das says, Dukh mein sumiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koy, jo sukh mein sumiran kare, dukh kahe ko hoy. You remember God only in bad times. If you remember Him all the time, even in good times, why bad things will happen to you? Because we forget God, then we do all nonsense, then we suffer the karma of it. Then we run to God, please save us from our own karmas. God says, I can only do so much. I can take care of your agami, but your prarabdha and sanchita, you deal with it. Then he said, no, you are supposed to be a hetukadaya sindhu, bandhu naram namatam satam. You are supposed to be unconditional compassion. So what I do all the nonsense? So what if I don't listen to you? So what if I disobey you? So what if I take you for granted? Yet you should show compassion to me. This is the kind of demands disciples or devotees who claim to be one, they come to Guru with. But Guru is also very clever. He says, no, you are being dishonest. If you really sincerely repented, okay, forgiven. But real repentance is not there. How do you know real repentance is there? You don't repeat the mistake again. But we repeat the same mistake and again line up in front of the Guru. Please save me again from this trouble. And Guru says, but last time I saved you from the same issue. Yes, but then I did it again. I didn't listen to you. But nevertheless, you should forgive me because you are supposed to be compassion. Then Guru says, no, you don't deserve this compassion because you have not learnt your lessons. You will keep doing this forever. So go learn your lessons and then we will see. That is the idea. That we are creatures of habits. And unless we change our habit, we cannot go to the next phase of life, which is spiritual development. I'll go to the next sloka, 1.19. That's on the page number 282. It's also a beautiful imagery. It says, Yatha eva adarsha madhyasthe Rupe antah paritastu saha tatha eva asmin sharire antah paritah parameshwaraha. Very nice sloka which says, just as an image or a reflection exists in the mirror, in the middle and in the whole of the mirror, in the sides, everywhere, likewise the Parameshwara, the ultimate self, the Lord, the controller of everything, the awareness, consciousness exists in our body, within our body. In a mirror, when you stand in front of a mirror, you see your reflection. And the reflection appears to be real. You think there is another one standing in you. We discussed about how a dog goes to a mirror and sees himself and thinks there is another dog and starts barking. Because it doesn't know that it's its reflection. Like that, we also see things in the mirror and sometimes we get attached. But the mirror is never attached to the reflection. We might be standing, grooming ourselves for an hour because we want to look good, we appreciate or we enjoy our own beauty. But the mirror has not any attachment to the reflection. Once this boy goes, another boy comes to comb his hair, the mirror reflects the other boy. or a girl comes, it reflects the other girl also. It has no problem, you're a young, old man, woman, it reflects everybody. Like that, our body is this existence is like the mirror in which God is being reflected. But God is not inside the mirror, though it seems like it is everywhere, the body is also real only, it's not unreal in that way. But it is unreal because it's only reflecting God. It is not having its own real object. It is only a reflection that you see. So what it says that the impermanence of the body is like the impermanence of the reflection. But the real one is not this body. The body is only a reflection of the real self. It has come out like water, which became the wave. It's water only, but temporarily. It's like reflection of that big water that is the ocean. It is in the wave for some time. Like that, God is reflecting in everything. Don't think now that you are not the body, you are not the mind, so body and mind are no use, discard them off. No, they are also made of the same God. But they hide God from you. They hide the principle from you. How? Somebody said, how is that Maya of this world, the illusion that we are the body, mind and all the emotions is created by God? Then how is it not real? How is it not real? Because it does not have its independent existence, depends on God. The reflection in the mirror depends on the object. It cannot produce a reflection on its own. A mirror cannot produce. An object is there, then it reflects in the mirror. Likewise, when God is there, world is there. When consciousness is there, you are aware of the world and everything around it, including your body. It's God which makes you feel the presence of your own body, your own mind, your thoughts, emotions, everything. But everything is permeated by the God, like the reflection covers the whole mirror. But the reflection is not real, the object is real. The awareness is real, the experiences coming out of awareness are not just projection of that awareness. The happiness, sadness, good, bad, everything is because of the awareness we are experiencing. But awareness itself is none of this. Reflection is also of the object, but object is not the reflection, is the idea. Sun is the reason why the water evaporates from the ocean. Now what happens? This water becomes the cloud and hides the sun only. Like this, Maya is created also by God only. And it hides God from us. The cataract doesn't come from somewhere and enter our eyes. It is a production of our eye only. But it hides our vision. Likewise, this whole samsara, the reflection that we see everywhere and we think it for real, it's not real, he is saying. The real is the God. But he is everywhere. Even in the reflection, God exists. So there is one philosophy called Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, Shankaracharya says. And Jiva Brahmaiva Naparaha. The Brahman alone is true and all the world that we see is only an illusion because it's been created by God only. But it is an illusion. Like the reflection is also of the man only, but it is not the man. So there are two philosophies which says that in that way the Brahma only is created, so that also is Brahman only. I said yes, that is also Brahman only, but not like the object, like the reflection. You can't catch hold of the reflection, right? But if you catch hold of the object, reflection also you can catch hold of. But we are all trying to catch hold of the reflection. And now saying why we are not able to catch hold of it. We are trying to run behind the Maya of the world, samsara, and then we want God. It doesn't happen. Rather catch hold of God, samsara will come with it. When you climb the shadow coconut tree, you don't get anything. But you climb the real coconut tree, you will get the shadow coconuts also. Bhagavan used to give this example. Likewise, God is reflecting in everything, but that is just a reflection, this body and mind. Don't run behind body and mind. It's like running behind the reflection or shadow. Rather run behind the object. But don't discard the body and mind as anything other than God. That also is made of God only. Beautiful sloka comes in Mundaka Upanishad. Yatha or Nabhi Srijate Grihnatecha. Like the spider creates the web from within itself. It produces the web, right? It doesn't bring material from somewhere else. It only has created the material out of its own stomach, makes the web, lives in it, and then when time is over, it swallows the entire web and goes away. So this world is also God only. But to approach God, don't approach it through the world. That's the idea. Don't try to enjoy the world and say, I'm enjoying God. That's not true. It's like enjoying the reflection and not enjoying the object. It's like holding on to the shadow and thinking you're holding on to the object. Shadow is also caused by the object only, but then shadow is not the object. Body and mind also has been created by God only, but body and mind are not God in that way. So likewise, see God in everything. See God as everything. but know how to approach God, how to approach the real truth, not through vagaries of the body and mind, but through the essence that the awareness is the reason why body and mind exist. The object is the reason why the reflection exists, but your mind is simply a mirror which is reflecting this awareness. But that is not the truth, that is the idea. So when you go stand in front of the mirror, next time you tell, who is there inside the mirror? I am only in the mirror. But is it true that I am inside the mirror? Not true. So it is true and yet not true. True to the extent that, yes, it is my reflection in the mirror. But the real truth is, I am here outside the mirror. And if I catch hold of the reflection, I don't catch hold of the person. But if I catch hold of the person, I catch hold of the reflection. So once you are established in this awareness, consciousness, everything will look divine to you. You will not have any hatred towards anybody, including your body. You don't have to punish anybody. Because you feel God in everything and everyone. And you have compassion, kindness, love. All these are natural outcomes of such a thing. So you think like that. The Supreme Self is all pervading, including your body and mind. But without the Supreme Self, this body and mind won't exist. Like without the water, waves cannot exist. But without waves, can water exist? Yes. Water need not be waves. But waves have to be essentially water. That is the idea. That all is God only. But the approach is wrong. Body, mind also is creation of God. But that is not God alone. God is beyond the body and mind. Reflection is also created by object. Reflection is also the person. But reflection is not the real person. Run behind the real person, which is the awareness. That is how the world has been created. Adi Shankaracharya says in Dakshinamurti Stutram, Vishwam Darpanam Drishyamana Nagari Tulya Nijantargatam. The whole world is like things reflect, like a town reflecting in the mirror of your inner mind. Nijantargatam. If you are there, then the world is there. Suppose you die today. Where is Muddenahalli? Where is Sathya Sai Grama? Where is this ashram? Where is Ashtavakra Gita? Nothing exists for you after that. We may continue to exist, but for you it doesn't exist. Like that, the world exists for the people in their own minds. Some people look at the world as a very beautiful place. Some people look at the world as a very horrible place. World is same. But why they look at it differently? Because the way it's reflecting in their mind, that is their impression of things. A bad mirror will reflect your image badly. You have these laughing mirrors in Jatre and all they put. Go there, stand, you look stout, fat, tall, all kinds of things. Like that, your mind is the reason why you see the world as world and not as God. Your mind is the problem which we have to correct. That correction we have to do. That is what Adi Shankaracharya says. Like when you're driving in the car, in the rear view mirror, you see the whole world. Don't you see? The cars behind, the buildings behind. But are they really there inside the mirror? No, they are there somewhere. But you see the world through your own lens of mind. That's why when Krishna told the Maharaja, go search for one bad person in Hastinavati and bring him to me. And at the same time he told Duryodhana, go and search for one good person and bring him to me. And what does happen? What happens? Duryodhana searches, comes back and says, Krishna, I tried hard, but I couldn't find one good person. Probably the only good person is me. Dharmaraja comes back and says, I tried to search for one bad person, I could not find one. Probably the only bad person is me. Both have looked at the same Hastinavati, same people, but two different perspectives. Our mind reflects God in different way. A distorted mind will reflect God distortedly. A pure mind will reflect God perfectly. This ashram is there. Some people are extremely happy being here. All the time they say, Swami, such a heaven it is. We don't have any problem. Whatever is there, everything is nice and happy. In the same ashram, there are people who write long complaint letters also. This is not good, that is not good. This has to be improved, that has to be corrected. This has to be changed, that. I tell them, first you change yourself. I think problem is with you. Because in the same ashram, there are so many who are living happily. And in the same ashram, there are people who cannot be happy. It's not the ashram that is at fault. It is you. You figure out where the change has to happen within you. Like that, this world is world. Some people enjoy this world, some people suffer. It's not the world which is making you enjoy or suffer. It is you. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Mind is the reason for your liberation or bondage. Set the mind right. Set the mirror right. And then God and everything will reflect correctly in it. Jnanis also live in the same world. Ajnanis also live in the same world. They don't live in two different worlds. But the world looks different to each of them because their way of looking at it is different. But here the main essence was, think of everything as divine only. Divine only is reflecting in everything. Yatra yatra manoyati tatra tatra samadaya. Wherever your mind goes, everything you should see as divine only. In good, bad, ugly, everything is divinity only. Develop that vision, then you will rise above all these vikaras and all these shobha and all this ashanti. You will rise above all that and you will become that pure self. And then we'll go to the last sloka, 1.20. It says, Ekam sarvagatam vyoma bahir antar yatha ghate nityam nirantaram brahma sarvabhuta gane tatha. 284. It says, there is only one Ekam sarvagatam which goes everywhere. It means which is everywhere. It goes nowhere. It is always there everywhere. Ekam sarvagatam vyoma. Vyoma means space. Like one space exists everywhere. Bahir antar yatha ghate. Inside and outside of the pot. So think of a pot, an earthen pot. It is the same space inside the pot, the same space outside the pot. It is not two different spaces. Appear to be different, that it is inside the pot, that is outside the pot. Break the pot, everything is one. Likewise, nityam, nirantaram brahma. This brahma, the idea of consciousness is nityam, ever present, nirantaram, continuous. It's not broken. This pot space is different from that pot's space, and the third pot has its own different space because it's bigger in size. No. The space is same, the quality of the space is same. Yet it appears to be different because it is in different pots. So likewise, this Brahman is Nityam, is ever present, forever and continuous. It's not broken into your consciousness and my consciousness. Like these bulbs cannot claim, this is my electricity, that is your electricity. All electricity is one and the same. It is continuous flow. Like that Sarvabhuta Gane Tatha, like that Brahma is in all beings. Shunischaiva Shapakecha Pandita Samadarshinaha, it says. Pandita sees one in everything, in the animal, in the dog and the dog eater, it says. Means in the lowliest of creature also, everywhere God alone exists. Like the space exists inside the pot and outside the pot. So this is the concept, again is a Vedantic concept of three types of akashas. With that I will close. One is called Bhuta Akasha, the physical world. Second is called Chitta Akasha, the mental world, mental space. And third is called Chida Akasha, the spiritual space. These are the three spaces in which we exist. Bhuta Akasha, when we limit ourselves to only the five elements and the body, the material world, then that is one space. It's like the pot with a certain space. When we move from the body into the mind, in our mind also there is a space in which thoughts exist, emotions exist, memories exist. It's as if a room is existing inside the mind where all these things are stacked up. So there is a mental space called Chitta Akasha. And then there is a space called Chida Akasha, which is beyond body and mind. It is everywhere in everyone. It is one continuum without any break in between. That is the idea of this pot, and that is the idea of the expanse of the self, like the expanse of the space. And there is a simple meditation you can do too. And the meditation could be, you sit in a comfortable position and then you think of, first you meditate on your body. Meditate again is a wrong word. Become aware of your body. Start from the toe. Now your mind is moving to your ankles. Now your attention is on your knees, thighs, waist, chest, hands, fingers, neck, ears, eyes. So this is the Bhutakasha in which we exist. The pot in which the space exists. So once you go through that, once you have finished this meditation or this contemplation on the body, awareness of the Bhutakasha, then start becoming aware of your mind space. What is there in your mind? Thoughts are there. Good, bad, ugly, happy, sorrowful. Start focusing on that. Your awareness should now focus on the mind space, the Chittakasha. So from Bhutakasha, you have entered the Chittakasha now. In Chittakasha, you see all these thoughts and just observe them. Don't try to do anything with them. Just observe the thoughts, like passing clouds, they come and go. You just like look at the sky, birds are flying, the planes are flying, clouds are coming, clouds are going. Just watch that. Then slowly you will become aware that there is something more deep than just the thoughts, which is aware of your thoughts. Now the next step would be slowly withdraw from the mind space into the self, the real space. And that real space of self is where there is no thought and no form, no name, no words, no thoughts. And then just stay there for some time. It won't happen on the day one, but at least you will start developing the ability to focus on what you want to focus on. In this room, There are thousands of people sitting, but if I focus on one person, I only see them, I don't see the rest. I know the rest exist. Likewise, body exists, but you don't focus on that. Mind exists, you don't focus on that. You focus on the self that is aware of body and the mind. So that exercise you can do sitting in your own space. A few things, try to always do these kind of activities in a quiet space if possible, where you have solitude, so that other sounds and other things don't disturb you, and your attention is not diverted, because initially it takes that kind of, like a rope walker. Once he is very good at it, even if the traffic is moving around, the rope walker walks. But in the beginning, they need focus. So likewise, start with some quiet place, and then first focus on your body, start from toe to top, become aware of the whole body and anything that is happening inside the body. And then slowly from there, gradually go into the mind space, become aware of that, and then go into the self, which is the awareness itself that is aware of mind and body. It takes a while, but you will get it slowly. So the idea of self is like that, and this ability is common to all, from the animals to the insects, the bees and the birds, to sky, to elements. In everyone the same consciousness exists, this one unified field that is everywhere. And in that we all exist, like we are all waves existing in the ocean which is made of water. We might be waves in Pacific Ocean or Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean or some ocean, but ultimately we are all the same water, and we are continuous, we are not broken. So some people, I am a purer being, I am a spiritual being, you are an inferior being, all these ideas also not true. That's why Shudra, Brahmana, all these ideas also not true. They are all pots. Pots can be of different sizes, colors, shapes. But space is not of different sizes, colors and shapes. Like that, we may be human beings with different aptitudes, bodies, features, and even socio-economic status, intelligence and so on. But they are all in the either Bhutakasha or Chittakasha. They are not part of the Chidakasha. Chidakasha of the self is always free, it's continuous, not broken, and it is ever pure, unagitated, is absolutely peaceful. It does not get affected by anything. Meditate on this idea. There was a boy who was taught in the school, Aham Brahmasmi. His teacher asked to learn Aham Brahmasmi, and he asked, what is the meaning? It means I am God, I am divine. So he went home, his father asked, what did you learn? He learned Aham Brahmasmi. That's very nice. What does it mean? My teacher is divine. He says, no, that doesn't mean teacher is divine. It means I am divine. Oh, my teacher taught me wrong. My father is divine. Then his uncle came and asked, what did you learn? Aham Brahmasmi. What does that mean? That my father is divine. He says, no, father is not divine. I am divine. Oh, my father also taught me wrong. Uncle is divine. The uncle told this fellow, nothing can be done about it. You are such a fool. Then he felt very bad. He couldn't get the knowledge right. So he went to a forest and meditated on Aham Brahmasmi. And slowly the mantra revealed itself by his effort. Tapa Prabhavat Deva Prasadat, says Shvetashvatara Upanishad. By tapa and by God's grace. Both have to come together to attain the self. You have to put your efforts, your tapas, and Deva Prasada. God gets happy, becomes happy with your effort. He gives you grace. With that grace we learn. So grace is definitely there here in abundance, like the sunshine. Efforts are the things that are needed to realize the self. So with that we'll close. We had a speaker, but I think there was some confusion and their travel. They have arrived? Okay. So then we have a spiritual speaker who will be speaking to us from Middle East, but his flight came only late, so I came early, and after a short break he would come and speak. So for now we will close it here, and we will meet tomorrow. Tomorrow is, as I said, Shiva Puja is there, and after that there is just question and answers on this chapter if there is any. Please send it to the coordinating team, and we will select a few, and whatever study circles could not answer, that we will take it up. Okay.
सर्वसुगुणसिन्धवे सकलसुजनबन्धवे सर्वसुगुणसिन्धवे सकलसुजनबन्धवे गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् दीनदुःखितपोषकाय दानधर्मप्रेरकाय दीनदुःखितपोषकाय दानधर्मप्रेरकाय प्रेरकाय सर्वलोकहितरताय सर्वमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्तिस्थापकाय वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्तिस्थापकाय ब्रह्मज्ञानबोधकाय नित्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् सदय हृदयराजिताय सुमन सदन शङ्कराय सदय हृदयराजिताय सुमन सदन शङ्कराय शरणमुक्तिकारणाय मोक्षमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् सत्यसायिनः प्रियाय सत्यप्रेमविग्रहाय सत्यसायिनः प्रियाय सत्यप्रेमविग्रहाय नित्यशुद्धनिर्मलाय नित्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय नित्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् ॐ जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्तजना संरक्षक भक्तजना संरक्षक परिमलेश्वर ॐ जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रितकल्पलतिका आश्रितकल्पलतिका आपद्बान्धव ॐ जय जगदीश हरे मातपिता गुरुदैवं मह्यन्तयो नीवे स्वामी मह्यन्तयो नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नागेन्द्राशय ॐ जय जगदीश हरे ओंकाररूप ओजस्वी साई महादेव सद्गुरु साई महादेव मंगलहारति अंदुको मंगलहारति अंदुको मंगलगिरिधारी ॐ जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।
जय बोलो सद्गुरु श्री मधुसूदन साई जी की जय।
To have with us a renowned Emirati businessman and social leader from UAE, Dr. Bu Abdullah. Wearing many hats, he is today a successful entrepreneur, businessman, philanthropist, visionary leader, and above all, a compassionate human being. As chairman of the Bu Abdullah Group, Dr. Abdullah's leadership and vision have paved the way for extraordinary achievements in business and community service. The group has over 270 companies under its belt, which includes Bu Abdullah Real Estate, Investment, Legal Consultancy, and many more. In 2019, he was named the Young Emirati Entrepreneur of the Year, highlighting his business acumen and leadership skills. However, he believes that success is not just about accumulating wealth, but about creating a positive impact in the lives of others. Committed to giving back to the community through various charitable initiatives focusing on education, healthcare, and environmental sustainability, Dr. Abdullah has received recognition from the Guinness World Records for his humanitarian services. He has also been recognized with an honorary certificate from the World Book of Records, UK, for his contributions to societal welfare. This morning, he will address us on the economic and cultural relationship between UAE and India and the importance of tolerance and interfaith harmony as practiced in both countries. Dr. Abdullah will address us in Arabic, and the talk will be translated by Dr. Nawaf Al-Shibli. Dr. Bu Abdullah, please.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. نمستے and namaskar. السيدات والسادة الضيوف الموقرين، الطلاب والموظفين ومواطني العالم.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, students and staff, all who are watching us from all over the world.
في الإمارات العربية المتحدة هذا المبدأ لا يتم التبشير به فقط، بل يتم ممارسته. نحن أمة شابة ولكنها مبنية على قيم قديمة من الضيافة والتعايش والاحترام المتبادل.
In the United Arab Emirates, the principle is not just preached, it is practiced. We are a young nation, but one built on an ancient values of hospitality, coexistence, and mutual respect.
اليوم أكثر من 200 جنسية يطلقون على الإمارات العربية المتحدة وطناً لهم.
Today, over 200 nationalities call the UAE home.
الكنائس والمعابد والمساجد تقف جنباً إلى جنب، ليس كرموز للانفصال، ولكن كآثار لإنسانيتنا المشتركة.
Churches, temples, synagogues, and mosques stand side by side, not as symbols of separation, but as monuments to our shared humanity, one world, one family.
بيت العائلة الإبراهيمية في أبو ظبي هو شهادة حية على هذه الرؤية، مسجد وكنيسة ومعبد يتعايشون في وئام ويقدمون المساحة للحوار والتأمل والسلام.
The Abrahamic family house in Abu Dhabi is a living testament to this vision. A mosque, a church, and a synagogue coexisting in harmony, offering a space for dialogue, contemplation, reflection, and peace.
إنه ليس مجرد هندسة معمارية، إنه طموح، إنه رسالة للعالم. إن الأديان يمكن أن تزدهر جنباً إلى جنب، وإن الاختلاف لا يعني الانقسام.
It's not just architecture, it is a separation. It is a message to the world that faiths, beliefs, religions can flourish side by side, that difference does not mean division.
التسامح ليس فضيلة سلبية، إنه التزام فعال. في عام 2019 أعلنت دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة عام التسامح، لكن جهودنا لم تتوقف عند هذا الحد.
Forgiveness is not a passive virtue. It is an active commitment. In 2019, the UAE declared it the year of forgiveness. But our efforts did not end there.
أنشأنا وزارة التسامح لضمان أن هذه القيمة مدمجة في مجتمعنا وسياساتنا المستقبلية، وهو نسيج.
We established the Ministry of Forgiveness to ensure that this value is woven into the fabric of our society, our policies, and our future.
لأننا نعتقد أن التسامح ليس فقط عن قبول الآخرين، بل عن رفعتهم.
Because we believe that forgiveness is not just about accepting others, it's about uplifting them.
القرآن الكريم يذكرنا مرارا وتكرارا بقدسية الحياة الإنسانية وأهمية الرحمة.
The Holy Quran reminds us again and again of the sanctity of human life and the importance of compassion.
هذا شرف ليس مخصصاً لمجموعة واحدة أو عرق واحد، إنه عالمي.
This honor is not reserved for one group, one ethnicity, or one religion. It's universal.
إنه اعتراف بأن كل إنسان يحمل في داخله شرارة من الكرامة حقاً في أن يرى ويسمع ويحترم.
It is a recognition that every human being carries within them a spark of dignity, a spark of spirit, a right to be seen, heard, and respected.
جوهرة جوهر هذه المنظمة عالم واحد، عائلة واحدة، يرتع بشكل عميق معنا.
The essence of this organization, one world, one family, resonates deeply with us.
في الإمارات العربية المتحدة عالياً ما نقول قد تأتي من جذور مختلفة، لكننا نشترك في نفس السماء.
In the United Arab Nations, we often say we may come from different roots, but we share the same sky.
سواء كان المرء معلقاً من كيرلا أو مبتكراً تقنياً من وادي السيليكون أو حرفياً من القاهرة، كل شخص هو جزء من قصتنا، جزء من عائلتنا.
Whether one is a teacher from Kerala, a tech innovator from Silicon Valley, or a craftsman from Cairo, each and every person is a part of our story, a part of our family.
هذا المفهوم للقرابة العالمية ليس شعرياً فقط، إلى عملي في عالم يواجه تغيير المناخ والتهجير وعدم المساواة المتزايدة. يجب أن تدرك إن مصائرنا متشابهة.
This concept of a global kinship is not just poetic, it is practical. In a world facing climate change, displacement, and rising inequality, we must recognize that our destinies are intertwined.
عندما يعاني مجتمع واحد نشعر جميعاً بالهزات. عندما يحرم طفل واحد من التعليم تفقد جميعاً مبتكراً مستقبلنا.
When one community suffers, we all feel that remorse. When one child is denied education, we all lose a future innovator.
وعندما يسوء فهم الدين واحد نفقد جميعاً قطعة من حكمتنا الجماعية. نحن في دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة نستضيف مؤتمرات الحوار بين الأديان وبرامج التبادل الثقافي والتعليمي التي تجمع أصولاً من كل ركن من أركان العالم.
And one faith or one belief or one religion is misunderstood, we all lose a piece of our collective wisdom. In the UAE, we host interfaith summits, cultural exchanges, and educational programs that bring together voices from every corner of the globe.
نحن نفعل ذلك ليس لعرض تنوعنا، ليس للعرض تنوعنا ولكن لتعزيزه. نحن نؤمن بأنه عندما يجتمع ناس من أديان مختلفة ليس للنقاش ولكن للتفاهم يحدث شيء قوي.
We do this not to showcase our diversity, but to strengthen it. We believe that one people of different faiths come together not to debate, not to discuss, not to argue, but to understand something powerful happens.
دعونا لا ننسى أن الإنسانية لا تحدد بما نبنيه ولكن بكيفية بناء بعضنا لبعض.
Let us not forget, humanity is not defined by what we build, but by how we build each other, how we cooperate each other, how we deal each other.
في الإمارات العربية المتحدة شهدنا كيف يمكن لتفويض المرأة والاستثمار في الشباب والاستقبال اللاجئين، إنه يحول ليس فقط حياة الأفراد ولكن مجتمعات بأكملها.
In the UAE, we have seen how empowering women, investing in youth, and welcoming refugees can transform not just lives, but entire communities.
نحن نؤمن بأن التقدم لا يقاس بالأبراج الشاهقة ولكن بقوة الأيدي التي بنتها بغض النظر عن جنسيتها أو دينها أو خلفيتها.
We believe that progress is not measured by skyscrapers, but by the strength of the hands that build them, regardless of their nationality, religion, or background.
نحن نؤمن بقوة الرحمة في الإمارات العربية المتحدة. المساعدات الإنسانية ليست فكرة بعدية، بل هي حجر الراوية، بل هي حجر الزاوية في سياساتنا الخارجية.
We believe in the power of compassion. In the UAE, humanitarian aid is not an afterthought. It's a cornerstone of our outstanding policy.
لذا أدعوكم اليوم للمضي قدما بهذه الروح. دعونا نحتفل ليس فقط بثقافاتنا ولكن بقدراتنا على الرعاية.
So, today, I invite you to carry this spirit forward. Let us celebrate not just our cultures, but our capacity to care, our capacity to love, to cooperate.
دعونا نكرم ليس فقط تقاليدنا ولكن مسؤولياتنا المشتركة لحمايتها.
Let us honor not just our traditions, but our shared responsibility to protect them.
ودعونا نتذكر إن في لوحة إنسانية كبيرة، كل دين وكل لغة وكل قصة تضيف لونا إلى اللوحة.
And let us remember that in the grand mosaic of humanity, every faith, every belief, every religion, every caste, every language, and every story add color to the canvas.
من صحراء ليوة إلى أبراج دبي، ومن أسواق الشارقة إلى شواطئ الفجيرة، تقف الإمارات العربية المتحدة منارة لما هو ممكن عندما تختار الوحدة على الانقسام والحوار، على الصمت والحب، على الخوف.
From the deserts of Liwa to the towers of Dubai, from the souks of Sharjah to the shores of Fujairah, the UAE stands as a beacon of what is possible when we choose unity over division, dialogue over negative silence, and love over fear and judgment.
نحن فخورون بتراثنا، ولكننا نفخر أكثر بمستقبلنا، مستقبل مبني على الأدماج والابتكار والإلهام.
We are proud of our heritage, but we are even prouder of our future, a future built on inclusion, cooperation, innovation, inspiration, and transformation.
مستقبل يشعر فيه طفل في أفريقيا، وطالب في أوروبا، وفلاح في آسيا، جميعهم بالاتصال، ليس بالجغرافيا ولكن بالنعمة.
A future where a child in Africa, a student in Europe, and a farmer in Asia all feel connected, not by geography, but by grace, by love, by gratitude.
دعونا نبني عالما حيث لا يكون الدين خطأ فاصلا بل أساسا.
Let us build a world where religion is not a fault line, but a foundation for all humanity when we can understand the essence of all religions.
حيث لا تكون الثقافة حاجزا بل جسرا، وحيث ينظر كل إنسان ليس كالآخر بل كجزء منه.
Where culture is not a barrier but a bridge, and where every human being is seen not as others but as ours.
قبل أن نختتم أود أن أتقدم بالتهاني القلبية لسدغرو سري مادوسودان ساي لقيادته الرؤية في إطلاق مهرجان 100 يوم، عالم واحد، عائلة واحدة، الثقافي العالمي.
Before I conclude, allow me to extend my heartfelt congratulations to Sadhguru Shri Madhusudan Sai for his visionary leadership in launching the 100 Days, One World, One Family World Cultural Festival.
هذه المبادرة الاستثنائية التي توحد 100 دولة على مدى 100 يوم هي تجسيد حي للوئام الثقافي والخدمة الإنسانية.
This extraordinary initiative, uniting 100 nations over 100 days, is a living embodiment of global harmony, cultural celebration, and humanitarian service.
هذا المهرجان هو أكثر من مجرد تجمع. أعتقد أنه حركة تذكرنا أن الحب والوحدة والإنسانية المشتركة ليست مجرد مثالية ليتم الإعجاب بها من بعيد، ولكنها قيم يجب أن نعيشها كل يوم.
This festival is more than a gathering. I think it's a transformative movement, a movement that reminds us that love, unity, and shared humanity are not ideals to be admired from afar, but values to be lived every day.
من المؤتمرات الحوار بين الأديان إلى افتتاح أكبر مستشفى ريفي مجاني في العالم. مهمة عالم واحد، عائلة واحدة تحول حياة الناس وتجمع القلوب عبر القارات.
From interfaith summits to the inauguration of the world's largest free rural hospital, even a series of hospitals, the One World, One Family mission is transforming lives and bridging hearts across continents.
دعونا جميعا نستلهم من هذه المنظمة الرائعة والتزامها الثابت ببناء عالم حيث الرحمة تتجاوز الحدود والخدمة تصبح لغة السلام.
Let us all be inspired by this remarkable organization and its unwavering commitment to building a world where compassion transcends borders and service becomes the language of peace, the language of love for all human beings in all the layers of this existence.
شكرا جزيلا. وآخر كلامي، أتمنى لكم التوفيق في عالمكم، في مجالكم، وبما ترونه، فأتمنى أن هذه الأمور التعاون والبر على التقوى هذا أهم ركيزة في الحياة. وشكرا جزيلا لكم لضيافتكم ودعوتكم لي المرة الثانية. شكرا.
Last words. I'm so thankful for your hospitality, for your gathering, for your listening, and for your commitments. And I pray to be all together to unite the world in one world, one family.
Thank you, Dr. Abdullah, for your presence this morning and for your passionate talk. We now request Professor Shrikanta Murthy, Vice Chancellor, Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence, to extend a token of our gratitude and appreciation to Dr. Abdullah, please.